B mile at the Albie Thomas. So from the inside out, it's Ella Penman of Dubbo Athletics. She runs inside. Bethany Scott of Run Crew. Sienna Chial of Essex West remains in the field as well, as does the Team Tempo Elite athlete of the All Whites of Sydney Uni, Sarah Marvin. Beth Arentz goes for Sutherland in hip number 9, and Amy Harding-Deleuze of Run Crew rounds out the field in hip number 11. So a few withdrawals from this race given the last 24 hours, understandably, but it's still a pretty handy crew here, and a couple of the athletes who are very, very stiff to miss the A race a little bit later on tonight. So they head up the back straight and go through the first 200 in about 38 seconds or so. Marvin sitting on the front of them there, just on the inside rail, and coming around her outside now is Beth Arentz for Sutherland in that blue crop top on the outside of Marvin. Marvin, Sydney Uni athlete, but running in the blue of Team Tempo, a lead out of South Australia, Adam Dydik's group. Amy Harding-Deleuze, of course, the black of Run Crew, formerly Randwick Botany, but currently Wake Forest, as part of the NCAA collegiate system. And then just sitting on the outside of them is Ella Penman of Dubbo as they come through the first 409, about 1:15 or so. Next in the run is Bethany Scott, and rounding out the field at the moment is Sienna Seychelles, but you can throw a blanket over the field at this stage as they run through about 500 metres.
Yeah, Sienna Scale, very talented junior, won the New South Wales 3,000 metre All-Schools Championships race in a very interesting fartlek sort of move throughout the race. Watch for her late. She's definitely got a kick on her. But currently it's Arentz and Marvin and Harding-Deleuze in the battle of the opens at the moment. Bethany Scott of Run Crew really in contention with this one, with Penman just a couple of strides behind. And as I said, Sienna Scahill just shoots her way past Penman and finds herself within striking distance of those top four girls at the moment. Penman just needs to box on just to hang on here, and she tries to do so. But a group of five just starting to gap her a little bit, but Penman doing a good job to stay within contention. So Arentz from Marvin, then Harding-Deleuze, then Scott, and then Scahill, the young 13-year-old from Essex West. Penman just 14 from Dubbo. They come through the 800, 2:25 on the clock. So well within the abilities of all these girls at the moment is the pace, and you look for a quick finish over the last sort of 400 metres, you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Beth Arentz, who was, Jimmy, you and I did this seeding during the week, and there was a couple in this field that were stiff to miss out on the A race. In fact, they were probably in the A race at the first cut. But Beth Arentz leads them up the back straight. Sarah Marvin sitting in second. Sarah's been running pretty well this season, doing some more over the 3 and 5K distances, but drops back to a mile here tonight. Amy Harding-Deleuze at her best, I think, was an Australian junior champion from memory over the 1500, but certainly a medalist. And then just sitting in behind them is Bethany Scott of another one of the Run Crew athletes. And then just a small gap back to Charles. So still a very condensed field here. About 6 in it as they come up, and they'll get the bell at the end of the straight. Sarah Marvin now moving herself into a position of prominence, and you think with that distance strength she'd want to make this a test from a fair way out, and that's what she's trying to do. Amy Harding-Deleuze, we saw her go around the 1K at Sutherland last week. See what she's got here over the mile, and a good move now coming from Bethany Scott of Run Crew. She'll look to move up onto the shoulder of Marvin. And a good little battle there going on for fourth as well. Arentz was leading at this point a lap ago. And now just coming around her shoulder is Sienna Scale, and she's motoring up the back straight reasonably strongly and managing to cross the bridge to the front three. Bethany Scott is the one who's doing the moving at the moment. Finally gets around the shoulder of Sarah Marvin, and Amy Harding-Deleuze still sits on the front. But the mover is Scale, who now gets around the shoulder of Marvin, looks to keep rounding them up. Bethany Scott is next on the list, but Scott's making her own move around the shoulder of Amy Harding-Deleuze. 110 to run in the women's B mile here at the Albie Thomas, and here comes the move from Seychelles and Scott.
Sienna Scale goes to home. The Essex West athlete. Can Harding Deleuze respond? She can't. I told you, Sienna Scale, watch the kick. New South Wales All Schools champion, women's B-mile champion, and Albie Thomas takes it from Harding Deleuze. Bethany Scott and Sarah Marvin in fourth, with Arantz coming through for fifth. I just knew that kick was coming. She was so impressive a couple of weeks back at SOPAC at those championships, and you could just see her moving her way around the field in a very, very mature last lap for a 13-year-old athlete.
I got 3 or 4 taps on the shoulder down the back straight. Look at Scale, look at Scale.
It's almost like whacking the B race, isn't it? Just like look for the athlete.
And right you are again, mate. You're making a habit of it tonight, so we'll get some predictions shortly for later on. But confirmation of Sienna Scales' win for Essex West in 4:50.79, ahead of Amy Harding Deleuze, who's running her way back into form, the Wake Forest athlete, 4:51.70, and Bethany Scott, her run crew teammate, runs third in 4:52.60. So just looking at Sienna's PB coming in, this is 4:33 over the 1500. So that's well under a 1500 metre PB equivalent.
450 is great running by a 13-year-old junior athlete. It's absolutely moving. And now we come to the men's B mile. Now, you mentioned, Matt, we've seen some incredibly high quality beer miles in our time. Sorry, not beer miles, B miles.
We've seen a couple of those too. But